and get this together. Okay, can you all see me? Let's make sure this camera is right. Peace, peace, peace. Great rising, great awakening. Long time no see, long time no be on. I know it's been a minute. So I'm just gonna give y'all an update of what's been going on. The reason why you haven't seen me. Okay, first, the reason y'all ain't seen me is because, you know, I got married, right? And my husband moved here from Texas, and we basically have been getting our nest together, our sanctuary. So because we were getting our sanctuary together, it's like I haven't been able to like be on live stream. I've been doing live streams, but it's been basically through our business, Consultants for Change. And then I'm relaunching Melanated Mysteries and all that stuff. So been quite busy. But now that I have resigned from my job, I can do more when it comes to being online and just, you know, keeping it real like I always do with y'all. I want to say first, I've been getting a lot of messages from people like, oh, Goddess, I apologize because I was wrong when it came to, and y'all know I gotta, you know, give a shout out to these people, because it's like, people have been coming to me telling me they were wrong about the Rashad Jamal thing, and what me trying to warn people, they really appreciate it and they're sorry that they didn't take it into consideration and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know, I was just doing what I was supposed to do. At the end of the day, like I've said from day one, that was my job, to warn people, you know what I mean, to utilize their own intuition and discernment. And that was just basically it. I don't feel like it's a victory or nothing, you know what I mean, because people got hurt in the process, people have been hurt, and people are hurting in the process. So it's just, you know, there's no victory or no win or anything like that. But I do appreciate people actually seeing my efforts and what was behind the motive of me speaking up and speaking the truth, no matter how much it would possibly look bad on me, you know what I mean? But I knew that I was moving off the spirit. I knew I was moving off my intuition and discernment, so I was never worried about it. So anyway, thank you all for acknowledging that. I really appreciate it. Much gratitude. So y'all, I have to share with you. So really, I'm coming on this live stream just so that we could just really like chat together and just, y'all know me, I like to be on some real shit. Like no matter what, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm always just speak my mind, you know what I mean? So like me and my husband, we've been doing this business together where we're actually helping people change their statuses, get themselves in the private, like learn how to move in the private, get their credentials in the private, things like that, so that they can go ahead and not be affected by this government. And this is for educational purposes. I am not a tax preparer. I am not a lawyer. So I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. But anyway, so we've been helping people or whatever as far as that. And so in the process of us helping people, we've like come across like thousands of people, right? And so for the most part, most of these people are like really cool, down to earth, really spiritual, really tapped in, grounded. They know what they coming for, bam, bam, bam. They about their business, they learning, you know what I'm saying? Elevating, and that's what it is, right? So, but then you have these people. Let me tell you what's happened. Like, I don't know if y'all agree with me or not, but for me, I believe like a lot of people come from the religious spectrum, the religious part of like life, and they've like grown up in religion their whole life. So it's like when they hear about spirituality or spiritual community, which let me keep it real with y'all, I already told y'all I don't do that spiritual community stuff. I'm not part of no spiritual community. I'm spiritual. I am a free thinker. I utilize my discernment and intuition to know how I need to move. I consult with my ancestors, my spirit guides. I ask them for help and guidance. So, and also tapping in with mother. Can't forget mother. Okay? Period. But so that's who I am. However, I'm noticing, because I deal with a lot of people that consider themselves in the spiritual community, and it's all good, because you could be religious, you could be spiritual, whatever it is, in the spiritual community, whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna ever like knock you or like turn down, you know what I'm saying, a friendship or a building session because of, as long as we building on the things that we both know to be knowledge, then it's all good, right? So anyway, I'm noticing a lot of people coming over to want our help when it comes to, like, what we do is for free thinkers. It's for people that's thinking outside of this government box. It's for people that knew that they didn't fit in that government box and system, and they're taking themselves out, right? So we have people that are religious or came out of religion and still have that religious type of thinking, you know what I'm saying? And they come over and they ask for our help. And when we're trying to help them, it's like they be so confused, because this is my assumption, because I don't know, because these people actually are nuts and crazy. I'm just going to keep it real. I feel like when people dibble and dabble in this and that, and they're not going within in order to get their information, they're easily misled. So when you're easily misled, you're led so many different places that it literally makes you fucking cuckoo. I'm just gonna be honest, because it's unfortunate, but we've run into at least 6-7 cuckoo people. And I think it would have been more if we didn't just cut it off, because we started noticing the patterns. Because they all do the same cuckoo stuff for the most part. And they all bringing up demonic stuff, and what they always say, like keywords where you know it's like religion based, like, oh, Satan and the demonic energy and spirit of the devil and blah blah blah. And they try to come over to us and like speak that stuff to us, and we're like, we first off do not accept that energy. Secondly, that ain't gonna do nothing over here. Thirdly, why the fuck you come over here for help? It's like once people start like coming to us for help, as far as like knowing what's going on with the system and things like that, and we start showing them the information and showing them the knowledge, it's like I said, the title of this video, like, facts are stranger than fiction. Because it's like at the same time they say they want to awaken, they really want to remain asleep. Like, they're really bothered by being awakened by knowledge and information. And it's quite nuts to me. Like, it's just weird. I'm like, who does that? But I think a lot of times when we tell, like, we got this Facebook page, right? And so everybody that basically goes through our classes or goes through our website or whatever, they all link to our Consultants for Change Facebook, right? So when we are always discussing stuff, I'm like, y'all will never, like I tell people, like, y'all won't believe how many people are mad because you're giving them the knowledge they asked for. My husband and I don't go advertise. We don't go seeking people and be like, hey, join our website. We're not a cult. Y'all know how I feel about cults. I don't fuck with cults. I don't fuck with cult-like people. We've had even a cult-like group come and join us wanting work done, and they started being on some cult shit. Like, we don't do that. We're not those weird spiritual people. So there's some weirdos in the spiritual community, and there's some weirdo spiritual people. Everybody to me is spiritual in some sense, but it's like, is everybody spiritually healthy? Let's talk about that. Is there such thing as spiritually sick and spiritually healthy? And I know for a fact because I have witnessed both. Okay? I'm not no doctor in spirituality, but you probably could rank me as a doctor in spirituality, because honestly, I already have a high rank. I know this. But I'm just saying, I be seeing the weirdest stuff, and then it's like I have to literally point it out to people, or like I have to show them like the emails and shit, and they're like, what? I'm like, exactly. Weird. Real weird shit. Like, how do you... This is my thing. Okay, if you're spiritual, you're a free thinker, you're just like allowing your intuition, your discernment to guide you, and you tapping into knowledge, right? things that you know to be facts, they have information to back it up. They have science to back it up. They have some type of hard evidence to back it up, right? How do you take that and then take some made up, falsified, cockamamie stories that's been passed down forever and put those two together? Like, I don't get how you do that. It's either truth or a lie, facts or fiction. You know, in the Bible, for the religious, confused, weirdo people, religious, spiritual, confused, weirdo people, in the Bible, it does say, right, like, you can't straddle the fence, you can't serve two masters, right? I kind of want to compare that as the same thing. It's like, you either awakened or you sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Like, you either, and once you awaken, it's like you can't turn back from being awakened. That's why I be saying, like, it's a bunch of weird people out here, and sometimes I think they just recite who they be around or who they see, and they go off of that wave instead of going on their own journey, using their own free thoughts and free thinking. Because if that was the case, it's like you wouldn't even be out here confused, hopping from this side to that side, trying to straddle in the middle, and it ain't no in between. It's either this or it's that. It's either that or it's this, period. And some people can't take the black and white. They gotta feel like it's gray somewhere, and it's not. I don't know if y'all be feeling that way. I literally be feeling that way. And I'm one of these people, I had to really start, because I'm a Virgo, right? By the way, my birthday in 11 days, September 13th. Y'all know what time it is. But anyway, I'm a Virgo. So for me, it's like, I'm very practical. I like to do things decently and in order. I like to have plans and like, just, I like order, you know what I mean? And things have to make sense to me. You know what I mean? They can't be like jaded. I don't like that jaded shit. Like, I don't like, and you can't like fake the funk with me. You can't be false with me. Like, I'm completely tapped into my discernment and intuition, which is something that took me a long time to get tapped into, because I was scared of it when I was younger, and when I was growing up as a teenager and a young adult, I was completely scared of that gift. But now that I know who I am, and I've been doing the work, so going within and the shadow work and things like that, now I'm like balanced when it comes to it. So it's like, I don't leave home without it. You know what I mean? It's like that type of situation. Like, that's my armor. That's my weapons. So it's like, I can like pick out stuff. So when people are not utilizing those parts of their brain or those gifts that I know we all have, you know what I mean? Especially as melanated beings, indigenous to this planet, it's like, I don't understand it or overstand it. And I have to start, like, I have to talk to myself and be like, Drea, everybody is not there. You know what I mean? Like, everybody don't see things the way you see it, or everybody doesn't get that heads up before things go down. Like, everybody don't have those dreams that you have to kind of warn you or warn the people or whatever. Like, I have to remind myself that. But it's just certain things that I just really probably will never get. And the thing that I definitely will never get is why people are so weird. Like, I just don't understand. And I know weird in etymology is not a bad word, so maybe I should just say strange. I don't understand that strange behavior or people that act very strangely. Especially when you're saying that you're going within and you tapping in, and you know what I'm saying? If you tapping in, especially with mother, that's your grounding. That means you're grounding, right? And when you're grounding, you're balanced. That means that your chakras are balanced and you've opened up those chakras that are necessary in order for you to elevate. So for me, it's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't. Because anytime I'm unbalanced, or anytime I feel like, you know, and I know when I'm unbalanced, because I'll be like, I'll be in that root chakra. I'll be in that low, I'll get to that low vibration. I don't stay there, but once I feel that low vibration coming, it's like, okay, I know I gotta either go meditate, go work out, Go outside, hug some trees, talk to some birds, sing to nature, something. I got to do something, but I know that this is not where I'm supposed to be, because when you're in your highest frequency, all you're going to feel is like peace, happiness, bliss, things like that. That's when you know you're in your higher frequencies. So when I get to those places, I go ground, I go within, I go take time to myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying a lot of these people are fake spiritualists, riding a wave, not going off of their own inner God, not tapping in, things like that. That's how I'm able to tell. And I stay away from people like that. Somebody said it's a higher perspective, and when you're balanced, the scale can easily be tipped. It can be tipped, especially when I feel like the tipping happens when you allow lower vibrational beings in your what would you call it, circumference, or within your aura, you know what I mean, within your realm. That's when I noticed that things can be tipped for me. Like I was saying on my Facebook page the other day, like I manifest the most when I'm in my highest frequency. When I'm in my highest frequency and I'm experiencing peace and my realm is peaceful, I can literally manifest stuff so quickly. I'm talking about quick. And this didn't always happen for me. It used to take time for me to manifest things because I was in areas and had people in my realm that weren't on the same frequency as myself, or higher frequencies. I was around beings that were low vibrational and didn't know themselves, hadn't come into the awakening of who they were. So when I was around them, it was like my frequency would be tested and tainted at times. And so that's when it would be easy for the balance to be tipped for me. But when I'm in an area and I'm in a realm and I'm around like-minded beings and beings that actually work on themselves and go within themselves and work on being balanced and tapped in and grounded, I have no issues. Like, it's the most peaceful time ever. I don't have any of those issues. I don't have to worry about those things. The reason I had to resign from my workplace, something I hadn't been in a workplace in 2 years. But once I moved here to Vegas, I ended up working in the work field just to get some stuff on the ground for me, because it was just a transition I had to do in order to elevate to another level. You know what I mean? But working there, after a while, once I got what I needed to get out of that job, it was like the ancestors was like, okay, it's time to go. You have repositioned, you've done the things you need to do. Now you know how to go and get out of here and do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? This was just a stepping stone in the shift that you had to take, but it's time to go now. Like, because if you stay here, you're going to stay on a frequency that you don't want to be on. Because I was surrounded by a lot of people and I'm an empath. So me being around a lot of people on different frequencies, especially for the most lower frequencies, then it's like it doesn't work for me. Like, I can't keep surrounding myself and putting myself in those positions and places. And I think, I know a lot of people that come to me and they, get counsel or whatever, want to talk or, just vibe with me and build with me. They always have a lot of issues when it comes to staying balanced. And I feel like a lot of those issues are because of what they encounter every day. Who's in their realm? Who's in their household? Who do they work around? What type of job do they have? You know what I mean? Are they happy with what it is that they're doing? Is it something that's calling them? Is the energies calling them to be at a different position and they're not adhering to it? Things like that. So those type of things can keep you also where your, scales are not balanced, they're unbalanced. Your frequencies are more lower and not as stable, you know what I mean? And I just really feel like that's it. Because for me personally, that's what it be. Like, I ain't gonna even lie. Like, I gotta really adhere to what I'm being moved to do. And if the longer that I procrastinate on it, the longer that I ignore it, and things like that, then it's like I get my lessons. Like, okay, well, this happened because you didn't do it yet. Or this didn't happen, or you haven't gotten to this level because you haven't even started with the groundwork that you know you have to move to in order for you to get to those levels. You know what I'm saying? It's just stuff like that. So I completely agree with the scales. Even when you're balanced, they can be tipped. But you have to work hard at making sure that you are protecting your energy. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, protecting your energy. Some people stay in relationships they shouldn't be in with people that's not on that's unequally yoked to them. You know what I mean? And so then that holds them back from being able to elevate to the places they're supposed to be, or be able to move further in their journey that they're supposed to be on. You know, it's just stuff like that. So we have to like start actually listening, and when we go within and we're asking for guidance and then we get the answer to what we're supposed to be doing, we have to literally start making sure that we're going after it, no matter how scary it may seem. Or you might even say, well, how is this supposed to happen? And I don't even have this right now. You have to literally step out and just know it's going to work, because you have to trust within yourself. You got to know that that energy is putting you on a path that you're supposed to be on, that you asked to be on. So you got to trust that at the end of the day. And then that's where you going within and being one with self. Because if you can't trust your own energy, that's what's holding you back. Because it started with you trusting your energy. So that's just what it is. For me, I know, and I'm speaking from experience, I know that that's what it be. And when I've watched other situations and other people in other situations, and or people come to me for certain advice, I tell them the same thing. You know, they'll tell me what's going on around them or what's going on in their life, and I can just honestly just be able to see the problem. And it's like literally there, but they don't see it. But I can pick up on it, like, okay, well, this is happening because this and this is going on, and you got to remove that in order to clear the path for this. So somebody said, AN said, after balancing so long as a child, I made the conscious decision to elevate and commit to North Node fully. I refuse to be remedial in my spiritual walk. Gratitude for your service. Thank you, and gratitude for your comment. Like that's what's up. Like literally, I feel you on that. Cause it's like when I was growing up, I always felt like the further I would get, the further something would happen, the further back I would get. And this is when I was deep in religion, and I was going off after what my mom taught me to do. Get on your knees and pray. You know, every time something is not working out, pray, pray, pray. And, you know, I won't knock people that pray. I feel like if you're going to pray, because pray can mean two different things, but then I'm getting too deep. So let me just start with the surface thing. To pray is to like kind of beg for something to happen. You know what I mean? Like you gotta beg somebody else to make something happen. But ultimately, you have to be the one to make that choice to change whatever the situation is. So for instance, say I was like behind in bills and stuff. You know, I was a single mom at 19 years old. With 2 children, technically, because I got married at 17, but my husband took our son and I took my daughter, right? So I was raising my daughter by myself. My grandmother was helping me, but by myself, going to college, stuff that I didn't get to do because I was, you know, I got pregnant early. So as a single mom, I was learning. I was learning how to pay bills, learning how to live on my own, learning how to prioritize, you know, making sure my daughter had her clothes and shoes and everything she needed for school, putting food in her mouth, things like that. But there would be times it's like I still wanted to live that teenage life too, you know what I mean, that I missed out on. So I'd be out kicking it, whatever, spend money, not how I need to, not prioritizing things. And then when stuff gets tough, I'd be like, oh, God, help me. Jesus, help me, this, and that. you know, lights would get cut off and I'd be praying to Jesus, crying and all this stuff. And ultimately, when I think back to it, I had to get myself out that rut because the lights were still off until I got up off my behind and either went and found another job to do some overtime, or I borrowed the money from my parents and they paid the light bill or something, but somebody made it happen, but it wasn't Jesus. But that continued for a long time until I came into an awakening when I moved to New York to model. But that happened for a long time. I kept on saying, Jesus, why is this happening? I mean, just all kinds of stuff would happen though. I'm telling you, I went through a lot of traumatic things in my life. And this was all during the time that I was like a Christian and praying to Jesus and believing in Jesus and God to come and save me and help me. And I was thinking, oh, it's because I listened to this music. Oh, it's because I was drinking at the club. Oh, it's because of this, this, and that. But once I started coming into my own awakening, and like I said, it happened in New York. It started from me reading The Secret, which was like talking about positive affirmations and thinking positive in life and doing positive things. It's like that's when a change started happening, when I started going within me and realizing that I'm the one that's going to change these situations, these circumstances. I'm the reason my lights was getting cut off. I am the one that had to get up off my behind and make those moves, not Jesus, not God. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about coming into that realization and understanding and overstanding that, you know, you were going to make things happen for yourself and you were going to be the one that never had to worry about that trauma and those trials and tribulations no more. You were going to make an effort, you know, every day to make sure that those are the things you have to deal with. I completely understand. That's when my life started to change. That's when I'm like, even now, when there's trials and tribulations, I don't focus on it like, oh my God, how's this going to happen? Or blah, blah, blah. You know, sometimes like, because we're in this realm and we're on earth, sometimes we allow it to kind of like fester for a second, but as you're awakened, you're like, hold up, let me snap up out of this, because the more I'm thinking about the negative is what's gonna fester. But as long as I'm thinking positive, then that's gonna fester. And that's what I need, is that positive energy in order for things to make its moves. Because supernatural magic and things happen. Like I've had things paid for. I've had money just in my account. I've called the bank type stuff. I've called the bank like, okay, where did this $300 come from? And the bank like, I don't know, ma'am, what $300? And I know for a fact that checking account was at zero. I have two accounts. That checking account with that bank was at zero because I had just paid off a whole bunch of stuff. I just happened to, some told me to check my check and $300 in there. Times I've had $200 just dropped in that account. Like, it's just stuff that just be happening out of nowhere. And I just be like, okay, thank you. You know, so whenever I'm saying like be on the highest frequency you can be on, and just watch your realm and watch the company that you keep. Even with our business, when I was explaining to y'all earlier, like how we've been running into these strange spiritual people, we've learned that we have to like cut ties with people like that, even in business, because it's not about the money, it's about the energy exchange. Currency is energy. So I don't want no bad energy in any single way. I don't want your currency with bad energy behind it, because that's what it is. It's energy. It's an energy exchange. And I'm not giving you bad energy, so I don't want to accept bad energy for giving good energy, if that makes sense. So we easily shut people, cut people off, block people, all types of stuff, because who has the time? Who's running off of, I know time doesn't exist, but who's running off of that type of energy? Nobody. You know what I mean? And we definitely don't want that type of energy. So like today, somebody had sent something to our old email, right? And I saw something demonic, something blah, blah, blah. Because for whatever reason, people feel like if you change your if you change your status, that's from a demonic place or some crazy mess. I don't know. It's just, I'm telling y'all, people are strange. Like I have no idea what that one thing have to do. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China is the question. So I like didn't even get to open the email. I swear my husband is at work. he must have been on top of it because she had emailed earlier and it was some stupid stuff. So I was like, okay, well, if this isn't for you, that's fine. Just go ahead, go. I wish you the best in your endeavors. And I left it at that. She decides she want to come back on some whole bad energy stuff. And my husband, all of a sudden I seen it. It popped up on my phone, notifications. I tried to open it up. He immediately blocked her. Because he already know we've had to deal with too much negative energy and for no reason. You know what I mean? But it's always some type of powers that try to like stop you when you on a movement to elevate your people. So that just comes with the territory. But yeah, let me read some of these comments, y'all. It's just nuts. Somebody, oh, okay. AN said, yes, absolutely. Boundaries are essential. Most definitely. Gamaliel Vasquez said, I cried being $4,000 in debt to myself. And my friend asked me if I need to borrow money and gave $3,000 that same day as if he heard my cries. Oh my goodness. You are preaching to the choir right now. That has happened to me. I promise you that has happened to me. Like, let me give y'all a most recent story. I told you I keep it real with y'all. And I'm not ashamed of nothing I've been through because everything I've been through brought me out into something better. So I'm never, now that I know the pattern, I'm like, okay, this is just shifting me to something better. When it seemed like you losing something, you're not losing, you actually gaining more. So I moved here to Vegas. That relationship in Texas didn't work, whatever. So moved here to Vegas with my brother, right? So come to find out, my brother been hijacked. I'm just going to keep it real. My brother's been hijacked. He's been out here in Vegas. He was the one that helped me on my spiritual awakening. And now he got rocked back to sleep. And not only that, he's been hijacked. Like Pharaoh, my brother been hijacked. So, but I didn't know that because me and my brother only would see each other on once a year or some shit like that when I would come out to Vegas or he would go out to St. Louis. So, I'm like literally staying with my brother and stuff, and I'm just noticing, like, I'm around different energy. I'm hearing different like noises at night when I'm the only one in his place. So I know it's like energies, like, but not good ones. I could feel it, right? And so I was like saging and I was just speaking over myself because that's all I could do, right? Because I didn't know where this was coming from. So like it would be times like doors would get slammed and stuff like that. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, so my brother started like switching on me. I had been there like probably 3 weeks or whatever. At first it was all good. I guess he was holding that mask on, or the energies didn't want to present themselves, right? So I didn't see it at first, but after I got good in there, had been working and stuff like that, it just started popping up here and there. Like all of a sudden he would be angry. He'd get into his baby mama, or he'd get into it with his girlfriend, and he'd just start cussing me out. My brother ain't never called me out my name. Out of nowhere, it's like a demon would pop out of him and he would just like be utilized to attack me, right? And so because I've had that happen so many times in my life, I could recognize that energy, and I was just like, oh my God, like they got my brother. You know what I mean? Like it was like that type of situation. So fast forward, I had to endure staying with him for like 2 months. I'm working my butt off. I helped take care of my grandchildren. So it's times I didn't let my mom know what was going on, and I would just give them my last. And they didn't know it because I didn't want my family to be worried about me, because I knew this too shall pass. Like I knew this was a shift in my life. I didn't know why, but I knew that it was a shift and something was happening that I needed to experience and that I needed to go through in order to get to that next level, because I knew I was supposed to move. So whatever was happening, I trusted that, right? So fast forward, I get this better job, right? Because the job I had wasn't doing nothing. On top of it, that energy that was in that place was so bad. I was finding myself in depressive places. No matter how much I grounded, no matter how much I sun gazed, no matter how much I meditated, it's like I was in this sunken place that I was just fighting spiritually to just get out of and stay out of. To the point it would be like I had a driver out here, right? And he took me around because I didn't have a car. So I would pay him weekly to drive me back and forth to work. And we got cool to the point, like sometimes I'd be like, hey, you want me to, let me go buy you a drink, just so I wouldn't have to go back to that place, because I just didn't want to be in that energy. Fast forward, one night, a situation happened where I literally had to put a knife to my brother because I thought he was going to put his hands on me, right? So I'm just like, I just can't take this no more. Like, I literally busted out crying. Like, I was just to my wits' end. Like, it was just so much pressure. And I felt like I've been fighting the whole time I've been here. Like, man, everything was a spiritual war every day, all day. Like, I didn't sleep peacefully for real. It was just a spiritual war every time I looked up. So finally, I had to leave his house. So I had to go stay with his baby mom because I didn't have the money to be staying in Airbnbs every night or whatever. And it's hella expensive here in Vegas, right? So his baby mom like, you can come stay here. And reluctantly, I didn't want to go stay there, but I'm like, okay, I'll go there, stack some money for a month. Bam, I'll be out and be able to move in my own place. So go stay with her. He bring his energy over there. She banned him from being over there. This dude would come over there and knock on the door, like I'm talking about like hours at a time. Like, it's babies. His babies is in there. He didn't even give a damn. And so I was just like, I cannot be in this, to the point one day I was just like, you know, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to go. I didn't know where I was going to go, but I knew I had to get up out of there just for my sanity, for my peace, for everything, my spirituality, everything. So I was like, I'm just going to go. So I like just packed my stuff in the middle of the night. She mad because I'm leaving, so she tries to pick a fight with me just because I wanted to leave. So I'm getting all my stuff. Y'all, I came off at least $500 that whole night. It's such a story behind this, but at the end of the day, I had all my bags with me. My driver didn't answer the phone because it was like midnight, and he usually picked me up at 6 in the rising to take me to work, right? So he ain't answering the phone. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I like call a Lyft or Uber. I found a place on not Groupon, but what's the other one? Hotels.com, called a hostel. I have no idea what a hostel is. Come to find out, a hostel is a place where all these people sleep in one room. Like, they just pile people up in a room and shit. And I'm like, what? So I done paid $300 for this for 2 days, not knowing that's what that was. So when I get there, I'm like, hell no, I'm not sleeping in nothing like this. So got all these bags, nowhere to sleep. So I'm like, okay, ancestors, okay, universe. Y'all, I'm really getting tested. Cool. I dealt with my brother for all these months, so I know I can deal with this. Okay, just think calmly, Drea. So it's a girl I was working, you know, I had just started this job, so I had been there for like a month. Me and her didn't talk like the first 2 weeks, but I used to always speak to everybody. It was 2 black girls that sat next to me, well, so-called black women that sat next to me. One of them is a really good friend of mine now. But both of them ended up being really good friends of mine, but I didn't know her for real that well. But we had ended up exchanging numbers because she was pregnant, and she hadn't been pregnant in 20 years, and I was just counseling her at work, just being nice, and we exchanged numbers the day before or earlier that day. And some told me to call her, and I called her, and I'm like, listen, I have $100 left, and I don't want to mess around, call a Lyft to go somewhere else, and it not be what I need it to be for me to stay there. So can I give you this $100? I just need to sleep tonight so I can think about this and get to work. So the girl was like, yeah, come on. And she sent her address. So I sent her, I cashed out her the $100, right? Get to her place, you know, she makes sure she talks to me for a minute. You know, she saged me and stuff like that from head to toe and stuff. And we talked, and then I laid down and slept for those few hours. Got up, and no, I had texted my driver and let him know, hey, I'm at this address. I'm going to be ready for work, but I got my bags with me. I'll explain everything to you tomorrow, because he knew what was going on. We had time to talk all those times he was driving me back and forth for months, every, you know, day out of a week. So he hold all my bags in his trunk while I'm at work. Literally, y'all, I'm at work. I literally talk to my manager. I'm like, I don't like people in my business, but this and this is going on. I really don't even know where I'm going to sleep tonight. So I'm a little bit like not really here, but I'm trying to be here. And she was like, you know what, take the time you need. She said, but I'm gonna tell you this much. And that's one thing I can say about that job. Like, the ancestors literally made sure I was in a place where it was like positive energy where my desk was, and in the on the team I was on. So she was like, you know, is there any music you want to listen to? Because there's nothing you can do about it now. Don't stress over it. She said, you know, just think positive. Something will happen for you. So I'm at work. I'm like, you know what? Some tears dropped, but I wiped them away. I said, you know what? She is absolutely right. Before the girl doesn't get there that I slept on couch, doesn't get there until like the afternoon time. So I get there at 7. So she comes in, before she comes in, about 9 o'clock, I get a text like, hey, my friend is having a girls sleepover or whatever. And she's like, I would love for you to come. I know you new to the city. I would love for you to get to meet some of the other girls or whatever. And plus, it'll give you somewhere to stay throughout the weekend till you figure out what you're going to do. And she's like, you can keep your stuff at my house, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting here like, what? Needless to say, that helped me. Like, those women had my back, and they were like sisters of mine for at least 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And they always reached out to me, always looked out for me, always had my back. I would try to give them money. They wouldn't take it, tell me to save it for myself. Like, it was like a sisterhood that just got sent to me out of like nowhere. You know what I mean? So when you say that things happen out of nowhere, and they happen when they need to happen for you, as long as you stay focused and stay positive about everything, it could be the worst situation in the world. I mean, I'm explaining to y'all some of the situations I was in months ago, and it could seem like no way out. You know what I mean? But there's always ways made out of no way. And it's just all on the frequency you're on and the mindset that you have towards what's going on. Because a lot of these things are just ways to see if you're really on your path, like you say you are, right? Like I be speaking to y'all, be like, y'all be positive, don't be down on yourself, blah, 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 blah. Well, we get tested, people that are out here, you know, spreading that knowledge and spreading that information. Even we get tested. Even we go through trials. Even we go through tribulations, because it's all learning lessons behind all of it. It's not your demise. It's not the end to you. It's like your elevation. It's like your growth. It's like your test. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever you're boxers and things like that, like they always want to fight the best. You know what I'm saying? And like when you're a warrior, it's like it's like iron sharpens iron. You're always getting sharpened. It's always to see if you're tough enough for the next chapter or the next journey. So sometimes you get thrown tough battles just to see how you will come out of it, to see if you're ready for the next challenge. And that's just what it is. Like we're in the school of earth. It's going to happen. Somebody said everyone is a vessel of service. Just got to know the opposing team can very well be those closest to you. They'll confront you, but won't they'll confront you, but won't confront their shadow. Exactly. If you ain't just said something, Aniana, I promise you, like every single person that's been like like I wouldn't even say they're a person, because they're my family, but like I say, they be hijacked, and I stand on that because I know who they are as the being as my family, and I know who they are when it's like another entity inside of them, because it's completely different. The way, the energy that they bring to me at that time is not the energy that's normal for that being or that person, right? So I say that to say most of my attacks have been by my biological father, a guy that I was with for 9 years on and off, my youngest son's father. You know, and I'm not saying these people are bad. What I'm saying is they are their vessels are able to get utilized because their soul and their spirit is not intact, right? Because they don't know themselves and they are sleeping. So because they are sleeping, they are able to be ridden like Corvettes. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. I've spoke about this before. So a lot of times it don't be your necessary family that you know of. It's literally entities that's been allotted to take over them and utilize them to attack you, the light being, because they're not grounded. They haven't coming into their awakening, so they're not able to have control over their own vessel. And so that's why a lot of us ground and stay grounded. And, as awakened beings, we do the work because we too can be hijacked if we're not where we need to be, right? So you're so right about that. It's always people, for the most part, that's close to you. Because one thing about it is these entities, dark entities, that they know that you won't be affected, especially as a warrior, a light being. You're a fighter, right? So they know that you're not going to be affected by beings that you don't have no love for. That's not going to affect you. You're not going to be all messed up about somebody that don't like you or somebody that's trying to attack you or trying to attack your job. You're going to be like ready to fight back. But when it's your reflection, like especially your family or something like that, it's like, oh, I want to, but you my brother, or oh, I want to, but you my daddy, or oh, I want to, but you my mama, but you my sister. So it's here. It's like in your heart, right? So it's like it's hard for you to fight against them because that is your family. So it's easier for your family that's not awakened and that's asleep to be able to be hijacked in order to attack you and try to deter you from your mission and your journey. So that happens all the time. And it's very unfortunate. However, it is part of the task and it's part of the journey. And once you start understanding that and realizing that you gotta take the fact that they're your family outside the equation and understand that your mission is to be completed. So when you have that focus and that tunnel vision about what your mission is on this planet, it's like you don't let nothing deter you from it. And that's the go-getter energy I've had to have. That's how I had to, because a lot of people here actually follow me on Facebook, so they know I've been very upfront about what's happened in my life. I always open up my journey to people just so they can see the ups and downs of everything. You know what I mean? Because I'm not perfect. I'm not claiming to be perfect. I'm just me. You know what I mean? And I just came here to do what I came to do. And I'm very passionate about my journey. So it's like a lot of them know, like I've literally been very open about stuff. And a lot of my attacks have been coming from my family, like a lot of them. And I had to put in my mind that even if it came down to a time where, I have to choose my journey and my mission over my family, or I have to completely cut my family out or something like that, then I'm talking about the ones that's not on the same frequency and, not understanding my mission and my journey. If it comes down to it, then they just can't be a part of my life and I won't be a part of theirs. And I had to do a lot of crying, a lot of shadow work behind it, a lot of wailing, a lot. I ain't gonna even lie, a lot of drinking wine. But now it's like it's 2 years later because all this was happening during the height of the pandemic or plandemic. So when that happened, that kind of separated the awakened ones from the sleeping ones for me. So it was just like, and then they separated themselves from me when I wasn't getting let me shut up. When I wasn't getting the demon juice, or when I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? When I was not pro such and such, or I wouldn't speak bad about Trump and certain things that he did that wasn't bad to me. Like when I had my own, let's just say when I had my own thinking process, my own mind, and it wasn't according to what the sheep wanted me to think or the mass majority was doing, then I was looked at as the bad person. when I spoke against the jabs. I'm the bad person. Me and my cousins don't even talk. They're in the health care field, something I was in at one point, but went against it, you know? So I've been lost family a long time ago. So for me, it's like, did I think that my brother, the one that helped put me on the path to awakening? No, I didn't think that that would be the case with us. I didn't think we would be where we are now, which is not speaking at all. However, what had to happen is what had to happen. And I've had, you know, my husband is in my life now, and I have great friends in my life now. My mom and I are at a better place now. My sister is not asleep. So, you know, it's just like a lot of different things happened and evolved during that time. But the people that's most important is still in my life, you know? And apparently, if they're important, then they're still here. And I'm still there for them. So it is what it is. Somebody said, the demon juice was meant to dig a lot of shit up to the surface. 2020 clarity. Yep. That's right. Age of Aquarius. Nothing can be hidden anymore. Everything is out there in the open. And it is what it is. And it ain't what it ain't. And I'm okay with it. Actually, I love this age of awakening and truth. You know? I never like liars. I never like lies and deceit. So this is the best time for me to be alive in, you know, because I'm older than a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in my 40s. So for me, it's like, yeah, this is the best time ever. Period. And I embrace it. I'm actually ecstatic about being alive during this time and being such a instrument that's being used to help with the awakening and the enlightenment, the ascension, you know, the knowledge transfer and building, things like that. I'm very thankful. I have so much gratitude to just even be chosen to be a part of this change that's happening on this planet. So it's an amazing time. But I mean, we just, that was my dad calling in. But just be really mindful about the company that you keep and the people that you have around me and the people that you allow in your frequency and in your realm. Because a lot of us have a lot of work to do, and we cannot be deterred from the mission based off of us making bad choices and not so good decisions when it comes to our energy realm. So it just is what it is, y'all. Thank you so much for building with me today and jumping on. I'm going to do this more often. I know last time I said that, y'all. But again, we were moving and stuff. Now we're moved in, and I have resigned from that job. So now I'll be putting more focus on not only building, but sharing my experiences here on YouTube, as well as chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? Still keeping it real. Still gonna be exposing some stuff. I saw this video and I'm just like, this is sad, but you know, it is what it is. I just like to bring the truth to the forefront, and it just is what it is. Some people can't see it through certain glasses because they're looking through rose-colored glasses and they think everything is rosy, but everything is not. And in order for you to be able to come into the truth, then sometimes it can be painful. What you see, the images and the things that you see, but also it can help you and help you be able to see more truth. You know what I mean? The more you awaken, the more your eyes awaken, they can't close. So I'm definitely going to be on here more. I love my channel. I don't like the fact that I haven't been able to really build with everybody on here. And so I'm definitely going to be doing that more. We actually have an office that my husband also has a channel and stuff. So like we're getting that together. And I know that we're going to do a couples channel together. So we're going to try to incorporate that sometime down the line. But next time I go live, I should be in the actual office and y'all will see like my background and stuff like that. and then I have stuff set up. And then I want to be able to do like live streams with y'all, where y'all come on. Anybody that like to come on, just let me know, drop a message to me or whatever. And if it's anything you want to talk about, or you want us to talk about, you want to go live about, I'm more than happy to be able to have you on and we could discuss it and just see who else want to chime in with us. You know what I mean? So chop it up with each other. So peace and love and much gratitude to y'all. Thank you for coming in. I know you could have been doing so much more and watching other things, but you came on here and you shared your energy with me. So I hope it was a fair energy exchange, and peace and love. Talk to y'all soon. Let me close this. Have an amazing evening to you too. Peace.